Probably I don't need to. So it looks better without it.
Okay.
Cannot see myself. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I can see here.
there we are. We are
Yeah.
live. Can you tell me your name and what brings you to JCON, please?
Yeah, I'm Emily Jiang. This is probably my fourth time at JCON. Yeah, it's kind of I'm here to talk about validating LLMs. Basically, I share a true story how I lead a team to basically come up with some metrics and to validating basically a few LLMs, including basically the Granite, IBM Granite code instruct, basically for enterprise Java LLM. So it's, yeah.
Because LLMs they tend to hallucinate, as they call it, and come up with answers which could be correct or not correct. So how do we tackle this?
Yes, exactly. You nailed it. Because LLM is nature to do the hallucination. So it's sometimes you enter something and then repeating the whole sentence back to you. So basically, and the other interesting bit I found out actually is not necessarily LLM have more data and give you better answer. So basically, in my experience, I saw okay, this is a good LLM, and then the did more adding more data and did more training and find out actually it went backwards. So it's basically you do need to come up with a good stable kind of testing framework to make sure the LLM you are going to go with production is the best performant LLM.
But testing an LLM is difficult because yeah, it never comes up with twice the same answer. And if you write a unit test, we really expect a specific result. So how can we handle this?
You are spot on. So this will be in my talk. Basically, is for testing different things, you need to come up with different approach, such as for the unit test. Every time you ask to generate a unit test, the first thing, the test method may be different, and all variables with different. Actually, things you don't really care about. They might be different. However, you won't be able to use like a ground truth. You can't really write your own unit test with LLM or come up with this answer. So with that, for unit test generation, all you care about is a good code coverage, right? Is that natural Java code? Because when we use basically code assistant, want to generate some code test basically similar to the human written test, right? I'm a developer. If he's my assistant, I expect to write something I can accept. So this is basically for this. We use basically JCON for the code coverage, and also for the Java naturals, this kind of metrics, make sure the generated Java code is readable and makes sense. And another thing is the one you don't really want 100 tests generated for one method, right? So also is kind of some other metrics we came up with for this method. If I'm the tester, I will want to write probably 5 or 6. If it's a LLM give me 100 tests, that's pretty no to me. Yeah.
So even when using LLMs to generate code, you still need to be sure what it's doing, validate what it's doing, and check if everything makes sense.
Yeah. So also for the code completion, basically comment to code, that kind of thing, I can't really use like a code coverage metrics anymore. For that, basically also in my including in my talk, we came up with kind of some ground truth, kind of the testing. Basically, we nailed down the prompts, and then we expect some similar code, but it's not exactly same code. So we use a different metrics like a code blue to see the basically similarity kind of the check. And it's not exactly like a 100% match. If it's a match like 80%, so that's good enough code. So this is kind of the how to test the generated code. So there's another aspect that basically you also use LLM to summarize the class. So that's kind of sometimes the class maybe is kind of very long. Is again is the LLM will give you different sentences all the time, right? You can't really use a true match exactly. Also, you need to do the similarity check. For that, also is kind of is tedious for like human beings to write like a huge paragraph to explain things and etc. And also LLM may be explained differently. So with that, we use both human in the middle kind of intervention, that kind of metrics, plus like LLM as a judge. So this is another kind of good metrics. If LLM can use another LLM to judge the testing LLM kind of the result, also is quite interesting metrics as well. Yeah.
So you have several LLMs competing with each other to give you the best result.
Yeah, exactly. Also, another interesting thing I found out actually, the judge, LLM judge, may not be the best LLM to do the work. This similarly applicable to the like football judge, like the also is some other kind of the judge. Maybe he cannot do that well himself, but he knows like what should be covered. So we find out that's quite interesting as well. Yeah.
How do you look at how good Java is with AI? Do you think we are up comparable to other Python libraries? Is Java just as good for AI development?
Yes, so this is depends. Depends on how good the LLM has been trained with Java, kind of the knowledges and etc. So the LLM I have been working last year with IBM Research. So basically, I personally like searched up a lot. Basically, the Java like the pages and etc. And then I purposely like get that data to train LLM. And then also during the testing, we found out LLM is not particular good at some area. Actually, I led one really brand new initiative in IBM. I teamed up with some other like Java, like experienced Java developers. We wrote some data, use that data to train the LLM, and then we can see the difference. Use my basic framework, we can tell like after the LLM trained with the special data we wrote is getting better. Yeah. Again, it's depend on the LLM, whether the LLM has been got a special training in some languages, but the Watson X code assistant for enterprise Java from IBM I have been working with did really well on the Java kind of the unit test generation, code completion, and also the code explanation as well.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here at the JCON and giving the talk, and for your time for the interview.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for interviewing me. Thank you. Bye.
Great.
Yeah, great. That's